Hello, this is Svetlana Shepitsina, and today we will learn how to create advanced form validation with AngularJs using compile service. I'm using Web Story Map shortcuts and auto hotkeys during my work. All of them you can find in my video description on YouTube and download. Almost all forms in our application we created using AngularMaterial. And you can see that with AngularMaterial we have ready functionality for message validation. And if we open code, you can see that AngularMessages module is used, and with here it is, with AngularMessages module components, we have possibility to handle validation messages functionality without creating complex JavaScript code. And in addition, it helps us to show errors for user sequentially. For example, let's take a look how it works on the record pen. Okay, we have a form. It's loaded. Okay. And we have 3 fields, and usually by default first notification is shown its error. Notification for touched or empty field. And for the best user experience, we should show only one error at a time, even if we have predefined many of them. And we start typing description. It exceeds number and everything fine. We have only one notification here, and here by default it's set to required. Any client name, it can be Maria, we have no restrictions. And here by default we have value and notification. I remove, I get another notification. I get some I'm expected, it's too much. I get another notification, and let's treat it perfectly. Okay. And if we show on all this notification at the same time, we can really scare a user, and it's better not to do this. But with all this nice feature, we still need to treat each input separately. For each input or text field or any form attribute, we need to create AngularMessages. And if you have only 1 or 2 forms in your application, it's okay. But if, like in our case, we have many forms, we have login, we have register, we have, we need to log in for this. Like customer, we have advertisement, we have campaign form, we have classified form, and it's pretty complicated, and additionally even more complicated form for creating events like this. And it will be really time consuming to add notification for each required field. So how can we improve our workflow? For this purpose we create a decorating directive with compile function. And it's decorating because we will decorate our another directive form, Angular directive form, with additional features. So by adding this directive, we will add features our message notifications. And in order to get our form, we need to require it, and here is this syntaxes, and you will find all documentation about this on compile require. Here it is. And this syntax allow us to get null when we cannot locate our controller of function and don't get error or exception. And when we require form, we add controller as element number 4 to our return function. inside compile function. And compile function will have element and attribute, and return element, attribute, controller, and scope that will be bounded to all this functionality. And one of advantages of using compile function that it runs only once. If you use link function directive with link, it runs as many times as you use directive. But with compile, no matter how many forms you decorate with this directive, it will run only once when you start your application. So in order to add to our form attributes messages, we need to find it. And we remember that for working with our form elements and messages or any features, we need form name. And we can easily get it with controller name. We have form name, and we need to find our elements. And let's start from inputs and text areas. And we tell that find, it's from jQuery, method find, input that required, text area that required. And we get arrays of text areas and inputs. And now we need to combine them. And it's very convenient to use lodash method union. And you will find, here it is, union. It will take to our arrays and create only one. And additional line, we have array of our attributes, and now we need names. And now we need names with method blank of lodash. We have form with name, we have attributes with names, and now we need to create method for compiling our messages. I have it ready. Here it is. I call it attach messages. First I created properties for all situation. First situation is first that we require is form name plus element name. It will be our app form element name, and the same for all another properties similar. It will be for touched state, error, and submitted. And then we create message. Of course, we can omit this and create all inline, but then you will have a hard time managing it, especially in future or if you need to change something. So I create these properties, and now I have a pretty clean code. So I create message. I tell that if our form element is touched or form element is submitted, please create ng messages with error notification and error class feature. And then we use ng message include, and we include our custom template form error messages. And here it is, it's just one line. We tell ng message required, and here I customize color and font size for this message. This field is required. It's simple functionality. It's the same message for all inputs or text fields, but it's created in one place. One of drawbacks of this approach that it's really hard to customize these messages. And these styles you will find on Lynx CSS code colors, and it's easy to use and manage. It's red 300. You can see how it will look like. The same for font sizes. On typography you will find all classes that I use for font size. With for Google material design approach for best practices. And what we have now? We have message created and we need to compile it, and it's only 2 lines. We create variable messages compiled, and we compile message and add to scope. And then we tell that after each element form element, please add message compiled. So our method is ready, and now we need to apply to our inputs or form elements. And in order to apply, I forgot about another moment. We use not only AngularMaterial forms, but also Lumx forms. It's text field. You can see that it's also beautiful, and it has this functionality for messages validation, but the issue is that they apply this validation on their custom directive LX text field. And if you try to get inputs, you can easily do it for AngularMaterial form with the directive MD input container, but like on our sign up form with Lumx, we had hard time to manage it. We spent not 1 hour. We decided to get rid of forms with Lumx on our application. We still can use both the system. It's our experiment. Of course, it's better to keep for one part of application just one approach, so we decided to keep all forms only from AngularMaterial. But I just show, I really wish to show it in tutorial, because if someone works with Lumx, he can save time with managing form validation messages. So it cannot be, a name cannot be taken so easily, so we created next functionality. And I even added comment for Lumx. Here it is. And what we do here, we take array of inputs, and for each input we find parent. We use Angular element input parent for with name LX text field. So each input that has this field number will be added to array LX text fields. And if parent length is more than 0, so if it exists, only in this case it will be returned. So we have our Lumx fields, and we need to add additional line, and now it's inside our return function. Okay, like this. So we tell that we want to create variable required elements. That's all our required elements for now. And we tell if our Lumx elements length more than 0, so if Lumx element exists, it means that we found our Lumx form. Sorry, and it's it will be on our register. So it's our Lumx form. And if not, it's our all another forms with AngularMaterial. And we have required elements, and now we need to run our method. And we tell that for each element, required elements, we run function and give form element and its index. And we run method attach message, attach compiled message, and we give form element and form element names and index. And all we need to do now to add our directive to decorate. Okay, SV form. Well, we add it like attribute, and let's check how it works. Links form works. I will log in and I will check our AngularMaterial complicated form. Title, address, event, we get sequentially notifications. And unfortunately, the only notification we don't have is for radio buttons, but we want to make them required to. We cannot set them by default because sometimes users just forget to change value and get not correct field not correct information. So what we need to do? We have radio buttons in this case with AngularMaterial directive MD radio button. So we need to treat it differently, and I have ready template for AngularMaterial radio button. Okay, and we will insert it inside compile function, and we tell that radio group find all element with MD radio group, exactly like we do with input text area, the same approach, but we cannot get name with the same approach since it's not Angular directive, it's AngularMaterial directive. We need to run jQuery method utter, and we tell that a radio group name is radio group utter name. And it's easy, we have it, and we run our method. It's just one line. Attach messages, and we give radio group and radio group name. And let's check our form. Create an event. And how can we check? We click on save and get all notifications at once, and you can see that for radio buttons notification work, and additionally our save functionality doesn't work if form is invalid. And how we did this, I just show it's already created, and on our form we have button type submit, and we have method on our form run with ng submit create official event, and here we add parameter form valid and tell only if our form is valid run this method save. And additionally on ng submit we add event official form, our form name, and parameter valid. That's how it works. And you can see that with this approach, with validation with AngularJs using compile service, we have possibility to create all functionality for our messages in one place, and then just add this decorate with this directive all our forms. And with this simple approach, with simple form required approach on any form where I already added this directive, I have message notification, I save a lot of time, and on classified I have access only from here. When I create classified, if I remove parameters and try to save, so this will give me notification, and additional even notification is created. Please fill required fields. So you can keep both or stay only with this directive. And as I mentioned, compile function approach is very convenient that compile function runs only once when you run application, and when you keep all code here, you can keep your directive with form pretty clean, and this principle gives you possibility of easier maintenance, so you can easier find and manage any part of your form and change it, and change form messaging in one place. And also universal user experience, so all forms are treated with the same approach, and it's very convenient. So if you wish to save your time and use best practices, you can use this approach. Thank you. Bye bye.